Good morning, everyone. It's 9 o'clock, so we're going to get underway. Good morning and welcome to the Committee of Adjustment hearings for the panel 3. We are City of Ottawa quasi-judicial tribunal that holds public hearings to consider Planning Act applications, including minor variances to the zoning requirements and consent to sever land. Our hearings are now in place at Ben Franklin Place, 101 Centerpoint Drive. We also enable remote participation by video conferencing for our registered speakers. We are live streaming on YouTube and the video will be archived and available for future viewing by the public. My name is Terry Otto. I'll be chairing today's hearings and you can address me by my name or as chair. And with me are my fellow panel members, Martin Vervoort, pardon me, Jocelyn Chancellor is absent today, Elizabeth Henderson and Gary Duncan. The procedure for the hearings will be as follows. Listed on the agenda and appearing on the screen from time to time are the applications we'll hear today. For the sake of efficiency, I may deal with agenda items in a different order. Panel members have reviewed the planning reports and any written submissions in support or in opposition to each of the applications. Today, we'll hear oral submissions relating to the applications. As part of the statutory public notification requirements, each applicant was required to post a sign on the property in question before the hearing. They also had to confirm in writing that they did so, or they'll need to swear or affirm an oath today that they fulfilled the sign posting requirements. Otherwise, we may have to adjourn or postpone the hearing. The panel may ask for a brief presentation of an application followed by questions for the applicant and city planning staff. We'll then hear from members of the public who have registered to speak. We may also have questions for them. Finally, the applicant who has the burden of proof will have an opportunity to make a final comment and reply. Please address your comments to me as the chair, starting with your name and spelling if it is necessary, and your municipal address for the record. All presentations are limited to 5 minutes. Any exceptions will be at my discretion. At the end of the hearing, the panel may either make an oral decision or we may reserve our decision, which means it won't be delivered today. In either case, and within 10 days, the Committee of Adjustment will send the official written decision and reasons for it to all the parties, participants, and anyone else who has requested a copy. Does anyone have any questions about the procedure we'll be following today? Seeing none, all right then. We have several applications here today, but first we need to deal with some preliminary and procedural matters. Are there any declarations of interest? We have 2 sets of minutes from the previous meetings to confirm. From October the 1st, looking for ratification of those minutes. First is confirmed, and October the 15th, pardon me. They are confirmed as well. Thank you very much. We will now deal with withdrawal or adjournment requests. The committee has received a request to adjourn, which means to postpone to a different day the hearing for item number 56051 Herbert's Corners. Is there anyone wishing to speak to that? The agent, Miss M. Fa, S. Fa, K. Fa, Racine?
Mr. Chair, I do not believe that the agent was available to attend today, so they are not present.
Very good, thank you. In that case, I believe this has been adjourned before, and we should recommend that this be adjourned sine die, I believe.
Yes.
We'll adjourn that application sine die. Thank you very much. So the next item is 5940 Brophy Road. Kay Curry is the agent.
Mr. Chair, the agent is online.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can now. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you, Chair. Yes, so we are in agreement with the Ottawa Septic System Office to adjourn to ideally the following hearing. We have been working with them, but we have not yet sorted out the issues.
Okay, so there was discussion in this earlier, and you have been adjourned a couple of times already. Are you sure that you'll be able to come to an agreement with OSSO for the next meeting?
So yes, we are hopeful. Unfortunately, we did run into some staff on holidays within the last couple weeks, which delayed our ability to address some of their comments.
So panel, our next date available is December
The next hearing date would be December 10th, Mr. Chair.
10th. In favor till December the 10th, adjourn?
Yeah.
Right, all right, we'll adjourn it till December the 10th.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is item number 16255 Prince of Wales.
Mr. Chair,
Oh, pardon me, yes. Carry on.
Mr. Chair, the unopposed applications.
All right, we are going now to the unopposed applications that are straightforward and recommended for quick approval, if there are no objections. Is there anyone who wishes to hold item number 1500 Thomas Argue, part 2 on 4R 27607? Seeing no one. Item number 1500 Thomas Argue is confirmed and approved. Thank you. Next, item number 1500 Thomas Argue. Is there anyone who wants to bring that ahead? No, seeing none. Item number 1500 Thomas Argue is approved. Panel, question? Yes. Yes, item number 4 is approved. Reverting back to item number 6255 Prince of Wales Drive. T. Scouten is the representative. Do we have that person online?
Yes, Mr. Chair, she is online.
Morning. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you. Go ahead. Please
My name-
identify yourself.
My name is Tricia Skitton. I'm the solicitor acting on behalf of the numbered company applicant. So it's a relatively straightforward surplus farm dwelling severance application. We filed the application, farm data sheet, statutory declaration confirming the applicant's farming operation, and the declaration with respect to the sign. So late last week, we received the comments from the planning department, and after a few emails back and forth, they've amended the comments to remove one condition. I just want to make sure, Mr. Chair, that you have the revised comments that were issued by the planning department, which you do not include a condition for payment of a cash in lieu fee.
Could you repeat that, please? I didn't quite hear.
I just want to make sure that you've received the revised comments from the planning department, which do not include a cash in lieu of parkland fee.
That's correct. That's been deleted.
Okay, so there's no issue with conditions 1 or 3. A bit of an issue with the wording on condition 2 in that it requires that the applicant prove that each existing parcel has its own independent sewage system, storm foundation, drainage, and well. So being that it's a surplus farm dwelling severance, the retained land does not have a dwelling on it. So the applicant can't establish that each existing parcel has its own independent sewage system and well. I submit that that condition should be reworded to read that the severed parcel has its own existing septic system and well, and that it's within the lot line of the proposed severed parcel.
Thank you. Planning?
Thank you, Chair. That's a standard condition that's imposed on surplus farm dwellings, and that's just to make sure that the existing services, the septic and the well on the existing parcel is within the existing the lot that has the residence on it. That's a standard condition from our engineering team.
Okay, so can you change that condition then to that applies only to the severed parcel?
Ms. O'Connell is online, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. If the revised wording proposed by the applicant is more acceptable to them, that it accomplishes the same intention from our perspective. So we're amenable to that revised wording.
Very good. Thank you. So Ms. Scouten, could you repeat what you said?
Yeah, so I would just suggest that where 4 lines down on condition 2, where it states that each existing parcel has its own independent, that the wording just be changed to that the severed parcel has its own independent private sewage system, storm foundation drainage, and did not cross the proposed severance line. So just each existing parcel should be changed to the severed parcel.
Thank you. Have we got record of that?
Yes, we do, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other concerns or questions?
Nothing further from me, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Can we call the question on that then? No. Any questions? No. Approval? In that case, your application is approved with those changes made. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is item number 2. Pardon my marbles in my mouth. 6437 Prince of Wales, Mr. R. Poulton.
Morning, Mr. Chair.
Good morning.
The applications for you today are 2 severance applications as well as 3 minor variance applications to permit reduced lot widths. So what we're doing is we're severing 2 1-acre lots from the existing parcel due to the skew of Prince of Wales Drive and the way lot width is measured in the zoning bylaw and defined. All 3 lots require relief for reduced lot width.
Thank you. Planning, do you have any concerns or comments on this application?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have any concerns, but I just wanted to make sure that you had the revised report that we sent in yesterday to remove the reference to organic soils and karst topography from the geotechnical report condition. That's condition number 3.
Mine says it's just a geotechnical report in condition number 3. Is that what you're referring to, or?
Yes, that would be towards the end of the condition 3, the geotechnical report as a minimum determine the limit of only sensitive marine clays that's present on the property, not organic soils and karst topography.
So just to be clear then, on condition number 3, it's proposed that we remove the reference to organic soils and karst topography in the last paragraph. Is that
Yes,
correct?
that's right.
So we're only dealing with sensitive marine clay soils.
Yes.
There is a registered speaker that wishes to speak on this. Would that person please come forward? Good morning. Turn your speaker on, please. Just, yeah, there you go.
Awesome. So I live at the
Name and address, please.
Keeling Kavanaugh at 6445 Prince of Wales Drive. I live so right next door. We weren't given any written notice as we were supposed to. So I haven't had much time to prepare for this, but we are a little concerned with where they've staked out for their survey, that it actually infringes a little bit on our property according to our survey. Not by a whole lot, but there is certainly maybe say a 10-foot discrepancy up along our driveway. I did bring our survey with us. I don't know if did you have a survey done?
So through the chair, no, we have not had a survey done for rural severances. Typically what happens is a sketch is prepared. And then as a condition of approval, a reference plan will be required to be surveyed and then registered on title to create legal descriptions. So through the clearing of the conditions, a survey would be done to confirm the location of the proposed severances that will have to substantially conform to our sketches. There is a small amount of wiggle room.
One of your sketches actually shows our driveway as being part of your property, like our entire driveway.
And so our sketches are based on Geo Ottawa. We might be able to, I've got a presentation. And I've got air photos. So that might be able to help. At least show what Geo Ottawa is showing where the lot lines are. If we could bring up the presentation. Not sure how clear the photo will be. It's going to be slide 3 is the air photo. And yes, I do note that there is a driveway adjacent to the lot line along the southern lot line. That's not clear enough, unfortunately. So there is a driveway that's immediately along the southern lot line. So it goes straight to that driveway. It's my understanding the driveway is on your property.
Yes.
But that's where the existing lot line is today.
So from our survey that we got is shows that we have beyond the driveway, like the existing driveway itself. So that would be, so this is the driveway here.
Yeah.
And it shows that we have 30 feet wide. The tree, this portion of the driveway itself is 17 feet. And yes, sorry. Sorry. Okay. Oh, my apologies. Okay.
Not really sure if we can solve this issue today, but as they have before, if this is passed, that they will have to make sure that they're not on your property as per the survey.
Okay. Okay.
Unless you have some concerns, then you they're aware of your issue.
Okay. Okay.
Hopefully your driveway is where it's supposed to be not on their head.
Right. Yes. Yes. Okay. That's good. Okay. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
And through the chair, just if you want to hang back, I can give you my card. We can contact each other and then be able to. Sure. Cool. Sorry. Thank you.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, we do need you to turn your microphone on.
Sorry about that. So are you aware of the requested conditions and in favor of them or agreement with them?
Yes, we are in agreement with the requested conditions as revised as per the staff report dated November 18th.
Okay, thank you very much. Can we approve this thing?
I have a question.
Okay.
This is a question for the agent. You said per the conditions of November 18th. I just want to confirm, is everything outside of what was discussed this morning being the geotechnical report not identifying organic soils, is everything the same? I just want to make sure that we're
Yes, we're in agreement with everything except for that one minor, sorry, we are in agreement also with the minor change to remove the language from the geotechnical condition.
okay. And planning, you're happy with the reference of November 18th that the applicant just identified?
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
Can I call the question then?
Yes.
All right. Everybody in favor? Thank you. Your application's been approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is item number 7, 5190 MacHardy. G. Amos is the representative.
Good morning, Mr. Chair.
Good morning.
My name is Gabby Amos. Oh, may I please request the presentation be brought up? Thank you very much. I'll just get started as it gets pulled up. And I'm also joined today by my colleague Scott Milan, we're of Photon Planning and Design. We thank you for your valuable time today as we provide this brief overview. We are here today for consent to sever to create one new rural residential property for the lands municipally known as 5190 MacHardy Road. If we could go to the next slide, please. The property is located in Ward 5 at the far west end of the city of Ottawa. The site has a lot area of 14.85 hectares with 367 meters of frontage along MacHardy Road and another 201 along Steen Lane. The parcel is currently developed with a single detached dwelling oriented along the east end of Steen Lane. It's a privately serviced site and primarily has lowland mixed forest coverage. Next slide, please. The northeast corner of the site currently abuts Ottawa River's Marshall Bay. Immediately south of the site is rural vacant land, and a CP railway runs east-west, approximately 1,100 meters south of the site. Apologies for the typo that says 670 there. The city of Ottawa limits are approximately 1.8 kilometers to the west, and during our review of the site, we could find no evidence of agricultural uses in proximity to the site. Next slide. So what we are seeking to do with this consent application is to create one new lot of approximately 4.5 hectares in size. It's to be generally rectangular in shape with a small notch in the northeast corner in order to provide a more significant interior yard setback, for the existing dwelling on the retained lands. The retained lands are also to continue to have frontage on MacHardy Road, approximately 140 meters there south of the severed lot. At this time, no development is proposed for the severed lot, but it is the understanding that it will be used in the future for a new single detached dwelling. Next slide, please. The proposal meets the consent policies of the Planning Act through gentle intensification in the rural area by creating one new lot along a public road. The minor nature of the proposed development does not trigger applications for a draft plan of subdivision or site plan control. Next slide, please. The site is designated rural countryside within the rural transect of the OP. The official plan requires that the site meet size requirements of 0.8 hectares for any new severed lands, while the retained lands must meet a minimum of 10 hectares. This means that there could only be one severance on this land. So this would be a one and done application for these lands. Next slide, please. Per Schedule C9 of the OP, MacHardy Road is designated as an open existing municipal collector, and it extends that way until it reaches Steen Lane, as seen by the green line in the image here. Policy 9.2.3E1 requires the proposed and retained lands to have frontage on an open, maintained public road. Schedule C9 in this image demonstrates that this is a public roadway. North of the roadway, MacHardy Road becomes a privately maintained road. The applicants and their 10 neighbors who also access their properties along this right-of-way collectively have a maintenance agreement to cover the costs and guarantee of snow plowing and annual road maintenance, thus meeting the maintained provision of this policy. In the future, the maintenance agreement will additionally expand to include the owners of the severed lot. In advance of today, staff were provided a copy of these agreements. The proposed consent meets the condition of this policy as the severed and retained lots shall be open, maintained, and on a public road. Next slide, please. Moving to zoning, the site is zoned rural countryside, rural exception 19. The proposed severance meets all provisions of the zoning bylaw, including permitted use, lot area, and lot frontage. And the rural exception 19 additionally states that despite section 59, frontage on a public street of the zoning bylaw, development of the subject land is permitted. Next slide. And just to wrap up, I just wanted to touch on the EIS, which was completed in the summer as a requirement. The study did conclude that the severed lands could appropriately accommodate a future development parcel of 0.2 hectares without any impact to the natural core area. So thank you very much for your time today, Mr. Chair and panel members. We'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Planning, would you have any comments?
Yes, thank you, Chair. So our concerns that were identified in the report are more to do with the existing maintenance of MacHardy Road, because it is a collector. It is a publicly open road, but it's not publicly maintained. But we've had discussions with the applicant regarding maintenance of this, and we're confident that they can provide sufficient proof that the private maintenance agreement will ensure continued operation of the road.
Very good, thank you. Martin?
So just to be clear, then the condition is that the owner of the severed parcel be joined as a party to that maintenance agreement. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
And that's the applicant's understanding as well?
It is, and if it is additionally comforting, the severed lands will be going to the daughter and partner of the owners of the retained lands. They are well aware of the conditions of the lands.
Okay. And I just had one other question. Did you have any comments or concerns with the other proposed conditions from the planning department?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So additionally, we would like to see if there's perhaps an explanation available from staff for condition number 6, which requires a 3x3 meter site triangle. That would be at the corner of MacHardy Road and Steen Lane. The landowner and the potential owner of the severed parcel are present, and they just would like some more understanding of what the intent of that is. Obviously, if it becomes public land, that increases the maintenance obligation of the landowners. So as a group, they're just kind of hoping to understand a bit more whether that condition is standard or whether there's additional room to discuss on that one.
Yeah, so the corner site triangle requirement is more or less a standard condition for properties that have frontage on one or two streets, essentially, or more streets. And it would just be basically space that needs to be clear for site around that corner. It's more or less a standard condition, but I can discuss that with our engineer who requested it as well for clarification.
So the expectation therefore would be that as part of the reference plan to be submitted, should a severance be granted, that would be demised out at that time. Is that correct? Through you, Mr. Chair. Thank you. I'll check with our owners here to ensure that they're satisfied with that before we proceed.
I just had a follow-up question for planning. Does that apply in situations where we have an unmaintained road and a private lane?
So the corner site triangle is more to do with the classification of the roadway. I know that the schedule that's being referenced shows it as a collector and Steen as a private road, but Steen shows up as a local road. MacHardy is also a local road. So the requirement for a site triangle varies based on what the classification of a roadway is.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Hi, this is a question for planning. Just for clarity, is the corner site triangle to be conveyed, or is it just to be cleared and identified on our plan?
Thank you. It's supposed to be conveyed along with any required road widening at the same time as the reference plan is deposited.
And is the applicant okay with that, or you're checking?
We'll verify. In the interim, I see that Ms. O'Connell has her hand raised from the planning department as well.
Could we hear from Ms. O'Connell?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to add some background in terms of that corner site triangle requirement. It is, like my colleague, Mr. Teft mentioned, it's the standard requirement that we put in place, and the intention really is to allow for future flexibility if there's, in fact, road improvements done by the municipality for roads to allow for that space for additional infrastructure, things like, in the future signals or what have you. I suspect that the potential for that is fairly low in this circumstance. And so, just speaking, you've asked for our opinion on behalf of the department. I think if the committee is more comfortable removing that condition based on that sort of standard intent and what applies in the circumstances, we wouldn't object to that.
Thank you.
If I can add, just from the agent side, having conversed with the owner, that is desirable on their point, and I would add that the city has mechanisms through their official plan. Should they require that land in the future, they can expropriate it through measures that don't need to be dealt with through this application. And indeed, should this application have come forward, they would still be able to claim that site triangle at a time that they would need it, and therefore does not need to be tied to this application. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I would just indicate that normally we do provide for these, but given the circumstances and the extremely limited development and rural nature of this area, I'd be in favor of not imposing that condition in this case.
Very good. Thank you. Other panel members, you're in agreement with that? Yes. All right, we will strike item number 6, the 3x3 corner site triangle. Any other questions or concerns?
I think we're satisfied with that, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
All right, call for approval. The application is approved. 5190 MacHardy Road is approved. Thank you very much. And that brings our day to the end for now. Thank you very much, everyone, for your attention. Have a great day.